Here is John and Jane. They both have similar characteristics, but one of them lacks a very important trait, a trait that differentiates a successful person from an unsuccessful one. They both wake up in the morning and work out, hit the showers, eat a healthy breakfast, go to work, do their thing, come back home, have dinner, and catch up on some reading. Both John and Jane are completing the same task, but Jane is more disciplined. This gives her the upper hand in being able to win at work and win at life. Jane's ability to complete these tasks on time creates an efficient process, and that's what makes her more successful than her peers. In business, the same thing applies. A disciplined, repeatable approach will always be a winner, but sometimes it's easier said than done. We get used to doing things one way and we stick to it without knowing that there is a better way to accomplish the same things. Let's take a service provider who classifies his business as successful and profitable. He has been achieving his tasks and goals manually. John is the owner of Acme Plumbing, Inc. He comes to the office on time, he sees his employees arrive and punch in. He checks with emails and voicemails. He calls and emails customers to schedule appointments, deliver quotes, and send job estimates. He schedules and assigns new work to other service technicians. He goes out to gather information for customer quotes and estimates. He arrives at the customer site, checks out the issues, and calculates an estimate of project cost. He leaves a handwritten quote with the customer. He'll follow up later to see if the customer has accepted it so he can schedule an appointment to do the work. On the way back to the office, he goes into a parts store, picks up a few parts for work that is already scheduled for tomorrow. He also stops by an office supply store to pick up new quote and invoice templates, envelopes, and stamps. Once he's at the office, he takes the receipts from the items purchased and puts them into a file. He takes the estimates he wrote up earlier that day and puts them into a bin so he can follow up on them tomorrow. He calls each service technician to ask how their work progressed and if all payments were received from customers. Business is great. He is a happy camper. It's 9 p.m. and he packs up to go home to his family. What if John's business were more efficient? John doesn't believe it's possible and shakes his head. I've been doing this for 15 years, he says, and I'm the best plumber in town. iFi empowers service providers to work smart so they can earn more. And we're not only speaking of money, but also time, customers, happiness, and all the things that make life worthwhile. Since it's absolutely free, John decides to try out iFi. He downloads the app and creates an account and invites the members of his team to do the same. Now they're all able to communicate easily with each other. They can see their individual appointments for today and for several days ahead. They can also view their colleagues' schedules. Great, they all say. How did those appointments get there? Auto-magically. iFi can monitor incoming leads and converts them to work assignments. Whether they are direct email requests from Craigslist, Angie's List, Thumbtack, or practically any online marketplace. If a customer requests an appointment, iFi will automatically find a technician with an available time in his calendar. It will also take into account the job a service provider has scheduled beforehand and the time it will take to get to the next job. John no longer needs to manage the whole schedule manually, but he can reschedule and rearrange things as he needs to. The field service technicians no longer have to drive to the office at the beginning of the day to punch in. As soon as they start the app in the morning, they are automatically registered as on the job. New appointments can be signed to them, and their whereabouts are tracked. John now has his entire field crew on a map at a glance, right from his phone or a computer monitor. As the service providers complete work and receive payment, John is updated with this information in real time. The customer is also a happy camper because before the appointment, he is notified that the technician is 45 minutes away from his house. This ensures that the customer will be home, ready and waiting when the service provider arrives. The service crews are all empowered with process-driven tools to help them automate quoting and invoicing, mileage tracking, parts purchased along the way for the job, travel expenses, and payments collected securely via credit or debit cards, check, or cash. At the end of every completed job, the customer receives a detailed job report with before and after photos. This is also an opportunity for the technician to solicit a Net Promoter Score, NPS, to gauge the customer's experience. How satisfied were they with the overall service? Was the technician courteous, knowledgeable, on time? iFi is a data-driven company that measures these data points and comes up with analytics to show the service provider, John, some interesting and useful information, which we call Golden Nuggets. John can now see things like, what is my true cost of opportunity for a customer? What is this, you ask? Well, since we're tracking mileage to the customer's location, we also know the gas prices in the area on that day. We can calculate and show a breakdown of the true profit on that last job. What were John's costs in gas and travel time? Were there any parts purchased or used for that job? iFi puts all that into a visual display, which is also automatically available to export as a tax deduction. John is still the best plumber in town, but now he's even more successful. He's working smarter and managing it all from his mobile device, handling incoming leads, scheduling appointments, distributing work assignments, sending estimates and quotes, tracking work progress, tracking crew whereabouts, collecting and tracking payments, managing online reputation, and finally having his own website. And in addition to being more efficient with business, John has his family life back and his work life in balance. The iFi platform enables service providers to break old habits, converting their existing processes into lean, disciplined, and automated workflows so they can accomplish their goals in the most efficient way possible.